That's right. Thanks, Daniela. It's time for Catching Up with Carley, presented by Meijer. Today, I'm joined by Red Wings defenseman Alex Biega. How's it going, Alex?
Hey, great. Thanks, Carly. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Okay, so let's start talking first about your family. You have three little boys. How was quarantine, spending extra quality time with them? It must have been so nice.
Yeah, it's there's a silver lining in everything to this, and for us, it's having that quality time at home and being able to spend time with my three young boys, and it's been fun. You know what? You definitely see, and we talk about how unfortunate it is for us not being able to go out and socialize or go out to eat at restaurants. And for them, I mean, I see it. My 5 year old. I really applaud the kids and how they really stepped up and have really understood how important it is to social distance and just try to do what they can to improve the situation and make an impact. So we've been good. We've been just playing a lot of hockey in the house and just hanging out for the most part.
There always is a silver lining to everything. Okay, so let's hop into hockey. This past season was your first with the Red Wings. So let's take a look into what got you there. How did you get into hockey?
My mom, actually, I grew up in Montreal, Canada, and obviously hockey is very big there. And I started a little bit later. I started when I was around 7, I want to say. And
Okay.
my mom just kind of said, you know what, like give it a shot. If you hate it, you can do something else and play soccer like you have been doing. So my brother Mike and I, who's my brother's 13 months younger than I am, we went out together and we ended up loving it. And I never looked back after that.
Well, good thing you didn't. But I have a question before we really dive into hockey. The name on your hockey sticks reads Bulldog. Where did that nickname come from?
um, there was a guy I played with probably like 6 or 7 years ago who nicknamed me Bulldog. He just saw me on the ice and saw me in the weight room and the way I kind of played and approached the game. He just said, you know what, the perfect name for you is Bulldog. And then that never really. I bet you even there's some people in the organization that probably don't even know my first name, but I'm okay with that. I'm used to it.
I love it. It really credits your tenacity, which has helped you along the way. You were drafted in the first round of the 2004 QMJHL entry draft, but you opted to play high school hockey. So why is that?
Education was really important for my family and I growing up. And one thing that we've always tried to do at a young age was have put a priority on the academics. And my parents were, I guess, the stereotypical parents where they said, you know what, if you don't finish your homework, if you don't do well in school, you're not going to hockey practice. And that was always a priority. And I always was intrigued in playing college hockey. And I went to Salisbury Prep School, which was ultimately a feeder to get into the collegiate ranks. And I loved my experience. I loved my experience at Salisbury. Made some of my best friends in life that I still am close contact with, and it paved the way to college. And it was truly probably the best 6 years of my life.
Okay, so speaking of education, you then attended Harvard University. So you made the right decision by staying in school. You played on their ice hockey team with accomplishments being named all rookie your freshman year, MVP junior year, and then being named the team captain senior year. So it seems like you made the right decision playing in the NCAA division. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, my approach was always twofold. There was one, you try to go to the best school that you possibly can, and
Mhm.
it was not only the academics, but just the people that you surrounded yourself with, and the people I had the pleasure of speaking to and meeting. I go to a class, and the person next to me had a very different and unique background, and I found it to be a pleasure just to meet a different dynamic group of people, and it was great. I mean, it's like college. College is supposed to be the best 4 years of your life, and it truly was. So, and then in terms of the hockey end. I was a smaller defenseman growing up, and even back then, it was like you had to be 6 feet or bigger to even have a chance to play in the NHL. So I kind of looked at that from my perspective to have more time in the weight room and more time for seasoning and preparing yourself to ultimately transition to the next level in professional ranks.
Well, it definitely worked out for you. You were drafted by the Sabres in 2006. What was that experience like?
It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I remember I was that's when I didn't go to the draft physically, and I was actually out with friends. And my mom texted me. She's like, "You just got drafted by," or called me. She's like, "You got drafted in the fifth round of the Buffalo Sabres." And I was with a bunch of buddies in Montreal that I grew up with. So, is looking back, it was actually cool having celebrated with guys like that, just because they helped you along the way and they pushed you along the way. And it was a moment like anyone. They would tell you when they get drafted, you get drafted to the NHL. I mean, it's truly a privilege, and all that hard work that you put in when you were a kid. You have that split second or days or weeks or months to really reflect on that and recognize all that hard work paid off. And then obviously the harder work came into play after that, but still, it was definitely a great milestone.
I love that. That's a great draft story. All right, so you made your NHL debut with the Canucks then in 2015, and you scored your first NHL goal in that game. I mean, what a great first impression. What was that moment like?
It was awesome. Not many people actually know the story. I'm not sure if it's well documented or not, but I was called up because I think Chris Tanev couldn't go apparently, and my flight was delayed. I was flying out of Toronto to Vancouver, and it was delayed. So long story short, I got in just before a pregame skate, so I didn't sleep. And then I found out, okay, like Tanev's good to go. You're going to be a healthy scratch tonight. So I stayed on the ice, did extra with the coach, bag skated, and then finally went down for a nap. And my phone was ringing like four times around like I don't know 3:30 or 3:15, and it was one of the
Uh-huh.
coaches, and they said, "Hey, come to the rink. You're playing tonight."
Oh, wow.
So it's funny, and so I literally only had time to call my parents and then my agent. And looking back, it was actually probably the best way to get a first game, just regardless of being how tired I was. And but I've waited. I played 5 years in the minors, and you wait your whole life, and you have that belief that when you do get the opportunity and when you do get the chance, your preparation and everything that you've done up to that moment, you're ready to capitalize. And it was truly one of those moments you hear from athletes, just being in the zone and uh, feeling like everything just is happening in your favor. That truly happened to me, and I ended up scoring the game-winning goal and was first star of the game. And just like the draft, I had that night. I was kind of just in bed. I was like I couldn't even sleep after that, regardless how exhausted I was. I was just like, wow, this is insane. And you call it God or the hockey gods or whatever, everything aligned for me that night. And it was truly, probably looking back, probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life.
That's amazing. And speaking of things aligning, you made your transition to the Red Wings. In your first game with them, you played the Canucks.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was, you know what, I'll be brutally honest. When I first got traded there, I thought I thought the intention was I was going to play right away when I got in, and
Mm.
I didn't play that game, didn't play the game after, and so I was talking to the coaching staff and I guess getting ready, and then we flew into Vancouver. And after the first practice, they're like, "Well, you ready to go?" I'm like, "Yeah." So it was definitely really weird playing against those guys. I mean, some of those guys are some of my closest friends and guys I've been around for the past 5 years, and it's it was definitely awkward and weird, but it was actually maybe easier too, just because I knew everyone's tendencies and how they played, and so once I got past that part, it was pretty fun.
Well, Alex, thanks so much for joining me on Catching Up with Carley, presented by Meijer. That was incredible. It was nice to get to talk to you. I hope you and your family stay well, and I can't wait to see you back out on the ice.
Yeah, I can't wait either. All right, thanks, Carly. Have a great summer.
You as well.